Terence Crawford has been looking for a fight against Canelo Alvarez for quite some time, and now Terence has slammed Canelo for avoiding the fight. Canelo has told his fans that he isn't getting out of any fights, and he doesn't see any reason for this one either. If the fight makes sense, go ahead, Canelo said. Right now, the fight with Terence Crawford doesn't make sense. I won. Let me enjoy this. Hey, this is Canelo. I'm back at last. I feel great, and I feel happy because I haven't felt like this in a long time. Eddie Hearn also thinks this because he doesn't think Terence would be able to beat Canelo if he took on more weight. Eddie said, I hope we get the chance to work with him again on a personal level. He's a nice guy and a friend of mine. We talk socially rarely, but he made the best career move, and as friendly as we are, it doesn't work that way. I hope he beats Charlie. If you're going to ask me about the Terence Crawford question, you're talking about two of my favorite fighters, two modern-day greats. I do think Canelo Alvarez is too big for Terence Crawford. As good as Terence Crawford is, in my view, you will never see Canelo come under 168 in a fight. I don't think he wants to do that. 168 is still a little bit not tough, but it's enough, so I don't think you see Terence Crawford come up to 168, and I think if he does, I don't think he beats Canelo, so I'm not sure whether that fight happens, but if it does, I'll favor Alvarez. Gabe Rosado would rather see Terence fight some other fighters instead of Canelo, and Gabe stated, I would rather see Terence in boots because I'm not really interested in Crawford Canelo because that's likely to different tracks. Canelo is in a better weight class, and that's his legacy. Terence did his thing. I feel like if Canelo beats him at that weight of 168, then they're going to say that Crawford was too small. Amir Khan just thinks that there are too many differences in both fighters.
You fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them?
Canelo's stronger and is easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Yeah. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean.
Yeah.
So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard.
Yeah. Well, Bob Rum loves what Crawford brings to the table. He really doesn't think that it would be enough to handle the much bigger Canelo, and he stayed. Did I think Canelo wipes the floor with him? I love Crawford. I told you with Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different story. I think it's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. Canelo is used to fighting at a particular level, and I don't think Terence can hurt Canelo, but Canelo can hurt Terence. As far as Crawford is worried at this point, only one thing is important, and that's the money. You can't blame him, and if you look around, who does Canelo have to fight? Crawford is probably the most attractive fight financially. I'm saying even though he's coming up in 3 weight classes, people would have a lot of interest. Oscar de la Hoya agreed with Bob about the size difference being a factor, and he stated obviously Crawford is the craftier boxer, but Canelo has the size. He has the power, and it's like Bob Arum said, he'll run right through him. It'll be a tough fight, but stylistically, yeah, it'll be a one-sided fight for maybe, let's say, 7 rounds, and then Canelo starts attacking. He starts to take it to deep waters, and the power will eventually be too much. Will it be a great fight? Will it be a big event? Absolutely. Al doesn't like the idea of the fight, but he hasn't written Terence off just yet.
I don't like it, personally speaking, but, you know, I don't doubt Crawford's ability. If you say who's pound for pound right now up there, you're going to say Crawford, right? So if there's somebody who can do it, who can go up and possibly carry his power or develop more of it and maybe outbox a Canelo, maybe it happens. But I feel like Canelo, when he prepared for Kovalev and he started sparring cruiserweights and those types of guys, like Canelo he's bigger than a 168-pound guy, you know what I'm saying? He can carry, like Canelo could fight cruiserweight if he really wanted to. You know, he can skip light heavy, you know what I mean? Although I think he should stay away from those higher weights because he's naturally a smaller guy. He's used to fighting guys much larger than Crawford. And his one Achilles heel, in my opinion, is sometimes he'll exchange with you. Like if you say certain things to him, or if you get him into a certain emotional state, he'll exchange with you. And I don't think he can exchange with a Canelo or even take that type of punishment from a Canelo if it got down to it and they were actually toe to toe. He could definitely try to outbox him though, because Canelo's footwork, if you watch him with B-Ball, I think if you make Canelo move, you have a shot, you know, but Crawford's not a defensive fighter. He's an offensive fighter. People claim that he has defense, but Crawford's defense is switching to southpaw. So it's not like what you...
Shocker Stevenson seems to think that the jump up in weight wouldn't be that big of a deal for someone like Terence, though.
I think Bud could beat Canelo. Like I said, I've been saying this. I don't think size win fights. I think skills do. So yeah, I think like being a southpaw with good movement and sharp boxing, it'd be hard for Canelo with that high guard to walk him down and load up on them big hooks. I think Bud would beat Canelo.
Teddy Atlas also likes Terence risks in the ring, and he stated Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring and to see things nobody else can see, and that's what makes his timing so special. Because of that, I cannot count him out of anything. Tim Bradley seems to think that Terence could pull off a win as well, and he thinks that if anyone could do it, it would be Terence. Tim Bradley stated it's a tough job for Terence, but at the same time I would back him. I would pick Terence Crawford to beat Canelo AVZ. I think his skill is top-notch at 168. I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything: good speed, power, timing, and can switch the way he switches. That is the hardest. The meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down blokes. He's one of the best guys that I've ever seen in the ring, right up there with Floyd Mayweather. Another fan of the idea is Dimitri Bivol, who thinks that Terence could really handle the weight jump. And Bivol stated, when I stepped into a boxing gym, the first rule was to respect the weight classes, but I don't know what Crawford is going to eat. He's the best fighter. Everything that he's planning shouldn't look like it's crazy if he's thinking about it. If he's talking about it, it means it's possible. Kieran Davis doesn't think that a win would be out of reach for Terence, but he feels that he would have to fight the perfect fight in order to pull it off.
What do I think of that fight?
Yeah.
I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little big. He's a little big for Crawford. And it'll be a tall task for him to win. It'll be a lot you have to, it'll be a lot to get that victory based on, size alone. Not that size win fights, but you got a guy that got size and skill. It'll be hard. I mean, nothing's impossible. But if I had my money on somebody winning the fight, it'll be Canelo Alvarez. Even though Terence Crawford is a great fighter, they're both great fighters. You got two great fighters in there. I think one guy got the advantage due to his makeup, his body type, how big of a person he is, and I think that will be it.
Benavident's dad really just feels like this whole thing has become one big joke, and he stated this Canelo era has turned into a circus. Man True 168, the king of boxing, trying to fight 154s, 147s, and 160s is ridiculous. He's good. My respect for Terence Crawford, but these guys are too big. It's a show to me. That's not good for boxers to make history. You got to fight your own size, maybe a little bigger. Crawford's a strong fighter, very bright, really good. But I think we will see the same thing we saw in Charlo facing Canelo. It's just too much weight. There's no way Terence doesn't think the idea of jumping up in weight is all that crazy.
I keep bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, catch weight. You can do something out of catch weight.
What weight you think?
Probably like 160 or something.
But you said 154 is the highest you want to go.
Yeah, 158, 160.
Terence has continued to call out Canelo though, and he still thinks that it would be the biggest fight in boxing. Terence mentioned that Terence Crawford versus Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing right now. Like it or not, it's just facts, while others don't seem to believe in him. Terence doesn't care about that, and he stated, I'm not scared, and I most definitely believe in myself, even if no one else does. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.